Hey now. Welcome to my side of the internet. My name is Soncerae Monique. I'm a certified life coach for both men and women. I have a 50-50 audience, so I try to play fair with both genders. So be careful what you post inside of my comment section. I'm trying to create an environment that is a little less toxic than what I've been seeing on YouTube live streams for the past, I don't know how long I've been on YouTube. I think I've been on YouTube since about 2008. And in 2015, 2016, I started to see too much like excessive negativity within the live stream community. And about a year or so ago, I just slowed down on doing as many live streams as I used to. And I'm going to try to start back up doing them. Okay, this should be interesting. Lord. So, anyway, be careful what you put inside of my comment section because I have no problem with deleting you just as well as YouTube. They don't care either. They've been deleting y'all comments much faster than I can even get to them. Like people were complaining. They were coming to me like, "Why you keep deleting my comment?" I'm like, "I didn't delete your comment. YouTube deleted your comment." Or they might put it in the helpful review tab for me to review it later on. And I get to those comments when I feel like it. So just make sure you put something valuable that we can, use inside the comment section and it's not insulting anybody. I appreciate that. So anyway, I wanted to take the time to talk about a clip that T.I. just posted on his YouTube channel. And it wasn't a clip, it was a show. And I'm not a big fan of T.I. for a reason. I mean, after years of being in Atlanta, I was in Atlanta for 17 years. So it's a lot about T.I. know. I've always called him Tip because I met him when I was interning at Grand Hustle. And after interning at Grand Hustle for a little while, I did some recording with one of the artists on Grand Hustle. They were called Ecstasy. It was two female rap artists. And I remember one of them was in college to be like an engineer. She's probably an engineer now. But back then, she was in college to be an engineer. And I don't think the two of them were like really trying to take music. Like, I don't think music was the forefront for them. I think music was just like their fallback plan if their regular, careers didn't work out. But I learned a lot about Tip from being with Grand Hustle back in the day, and just looking at Tip from a distance. Let's say I never graduated. I mean, I never interned at Grand Hustle, or I never recorded with any of the artists at Grand Hustle. Let's say I never worked with like Rico Barrino or um what's that guy that used to damn, what's the guy that used to date Fantasia? I can't remember this guy's name. Why can't I remember his name? It's because it's so long ago. What is that nigga's name? He was a rapper. I cannot remember his name, but he used to date Fantasia before Fantasia got married. So when I was recording with Grand Hustle around that time, because I used to be a recording artist, and a lot of people don't know that, but I would be up in Grand Hustle on a regular, and Fantasia would be there. Her brother Rico Barrino would be there, and Young Dro. I think that was his Young Dro. Is that dude's name? Anyway, let's say for instance you didn't interact with T.I. at all, and you just know of T.I. from his long rap sheet, because he got a long one that started in 1998 and it didn't end until like recently, and let's just say it could possibly continue because the last charges I think he experienced, or whatever you want to say, when someone is like charging you or accusing you or allegedly, basically, he sexually assaulted him and his wife, sexually assaulted a few women throughout the years of them touring from place to place, and they got into a couple of dubious situations with a couple of women, and these women are saying that Tip and his wife, Tiny Harris, drugged them and sexually assaulted them. So T.I. has this long rap sheet of just stuff that he's just not, it's just not a lot of positive stuff. So I don't have like this positive perspective of T.I. in my mind. And also on top of that, Something that really was disturbing was the situation between him and his daughter. I know y'all got to remember the whole Hyman thing that he was talking about, and that really traumatized his daughter. Like his daughter was really, she was vocal about it. She did speak about it, but I don't think what he was saying about it helped anything that had to do with what women fight for on a day-to-day basis. When we and I don't mean just feminist women, I mean just women in general, just giving us the freedom to make our own choices with our own vaginas, and not to be so sexualized or controlled by society because of our sexuality or something like that, or because of our anatomy. And that devastated her. And then on top of that, he put out Iggy. And to me, Iggy was a whole just a problem. Like that, there was just some misappropriation with her. Like for some reason, I feel like rap music or hip hop. If you're a black person yourself and you're a hip hop artist or a rap artist, and you put out artists, you have to represent your culture by putting out artists that are actually African American. And Iggy is not African American. She's from Australia, and she's not even close to being black. So to me, when you supposed to be representing your culture, selling out in that way is just not a good look to me. That's just to me. Okay, so anyway, he put out a clip of him sitting down with Kevin Samuels and this other woman, and inside of the clip, they were talking about misandry and how the things that women are saying to and doing, proving that they have, some type of negative feeling towards men. Now, this isn't a new thing. Women have been starting to do this for a very long time now. And it's a result of misogyny. And I think when I hear men like Kevin Samuels speak about misandry as if it's not a response to stuff that women have been experiencing, I think that's kind of awkward to me. Like I think it's misinforming a lot of people who may be looking at the situation, who may have never experienced both. If they've never experienced misogyny or misandry, they aren't going to know the origin of why these things exist in general. And that's the problem with a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing on social media, or the topics that everyone's having conversations about, the think pieces that people are sitting here and discussing. A lot of times you don't hear the origin story of these things, and these stories are being picked up in the middle, and it's not being fully explained to why things are the way that they are. It's almost like everyone's trying to make it seem like everyone is the victim. But at the same time, let's be clear. Let's be very clear, okay? Patriarchy, right? And I'm not a feminist. Let's keep this, because it's still, people misuse feminism all of the time. And that's why I don't support it as much as I would like to, because it's misused so much and misunderstood so much. So it's hard to like promote it in a solid, pure way when it's so many. Uh, it's just so bad. People use it wrong so much. But patriarchy um, is one of those things where it was created to oppress women. So misogyny, not misandry. Misogyny is included in that. Chauvinism is included in that. Sexism is included in that. In patriarchy. Okay. Now, my thing is with matriarchy. Matriarchy isn't about oppressing men, but men who are inside of patriarchy, when they're teaching matriarchy to a bunch of other men, they're also teaching chauvinism. So they believe that the same thought processes that men have when they're trying to oppress women are the same thought processes that women are having. And women don't have the same thought processes as men. So when we do what we do, we have a completely different definition and process of doing things. So with matriarchy, It's more about men having the freedom to relax, not be so much of a provider and like your masculinity is not determined by a leadership role. With patriarchy, your masculinity is defined by whether or not you are good with leadership skills. Okay. Now, I'm big on the misogyny thing not being something that men do. And I don't support misandry either. But I did hear Kevin Samuels was saying that women were saying stuff like some men have little D energy, little stuff like that, that women say. Women are saying these things because of years and years and decades and centuries of damn misogyny. It didn't just happen. Like women didn't just start doing this because we just decided to be selfish one day and hate men. No, that's not that's not. It's from a whole bunch of mistreatment from men. Because there was a day and age where women we weren't allowed to do a lot of the things that we do now. There was a time we couldn't be doctors, lawyers, we couldn't drive, we couldn't vote, we couldn't speak for ourselves. We needed to have husbands because we were property of them. Our beauty was sold to them just so we could have room and board. Our fathers would sell us off to wealthy men if we were beautiful so they could get money from that wealthy man. And that man would then take on the responsibility of continuing to raise us. Put it like that. We were classified as like children. You understand? Or like slaves. We cooked, we cleaned. That's it. That's what we were designed for. Cooked, cleaned, bear children, have sex. Now, when those four things are the only things that you're allowed to do as a human being, wouldn't that be uncomfortable for you regardless of gender? Think about that. Think about you as a person. If you are a man and you're listening to the sound of my voice, could you imagine your father or mother going to someone else trying to sell you off to that person for you to cook, clean, bear children, and have sex with that person, regardless to how old that person is, regardless to whether or not that person is abusive, doesn't matter. As long as that person has money, they can have you. Imagine that being your reality. Okay. All right. That's women. And y'all don't think of it that way. Women think of it that way because we're double minority. We have experienced that. We know what it's like to be female. But men don't understand that. They think we're just completely out of our minds because when we sit here and we fight for the freedom to be able to get equal pay or the freedom to go out here and get our education and get our money and do things on our own, that we're trying to compete with men. It's not about you. Like, flat out, ain't about you. What it's about is the freedom of choice, being able to choose, generating our own way to survive without needing a man to do it for us. And so a lot of the negativity and the hatred that you hear from women when they say, oh, that man got little dick energy, or they're saying like little negative stuff about men all of the time, it's a very deep rooted thing that we have been experiencing for damn centuries. And you are just now starting to see women feel more comfortable with displaying the vile negative behaviors and disrespect that men have been showing women for centuries. So now you're starting to see women feel completely comfortable with doing it. And there was a time we felt like we couldn't. There was a time we didn't because we was quote unquote not allowed to. Or, we would get punished thoroughly for speaking negatively about men. So now, especially black women, We do not care. You understand? Don't nobody care about y'all feelings now. Don't nobody care about y'all feelings now, because it's still a lot of men out there, right? And we're not talking about the nice guys who are good guys. We're not talking about you. We're not talking about the exceptional men who went out and got their education and got their money, and they may have ran into the wrong woman. You know what I mean? And she was, did whatever to him, regardless to her color. I'm not talking about those type of men. I'm talking about men who have always thought that women were dispensable. I mean, it's some men out here that now that they're older, they admit how crooked they were and how terrible they were towards women. I see it on TikTok. I see men get on TikTok and make videos teaching women how not to be a victim of men, right? It's plenty of men out there who admit it. But at the same time, majority of men are still not admitting how bad they have been taught to treat women. You know what they teach women about men? Let me tell y'all what women are taught about men. If you don't know, we're taught this from the time we can understand. We are taught to fear men. We are taught we can't dress a certain way or we'll get raped, molested, assaulted. We're told we can't say certain things or go out after a certain time. Because if we go out at a certain time, we're liable to be a victim of some man. We are taught to fear men, right? And then you wonder why every time you meet a woman, she might be quote unquote too masculine for you, right? Because we have our defenses up immediately. We don't see men and just automatically be standing there in our femininity. We're not taught to, especially not Black women, because we have experienced so much pain and turmoil and harm that instantly our guard is up when it comes to men, because we were taught that. And now it's men out there teaching other men to not defend other women. You want an example? Let me give you an example. There's a guy, I heard him telling a story about how he was in the club with some of his military buddies. They were in the military and they went out to party one night and they saw a woman getting assaulted by a man in the club. Okay. They defended this woman inside of the club. Later on, he realized once he got older that when they stepped out of that club, that man that they saw with that same woman that they took up for in the club, she was still with that same man. Even after they done rumbled this man in the club, they come out the club, she with that same man. Instead of her leaving, running for her damn life, she stepped by that same man. He didn't realize until he got older that there was a possibility that they could have stepped out that club and he could have pulled a weapon out on the three of them, because the three of them jumped on him. And their life would have been over for a woman that they weren't supposed to be protecting to begin with. Now, mind you, women don't get protection like you think, right? I don't think people quite understand how unprotected women are, especially Black women, right? We're unprotected even if we have brothers, fathers, husbands. We could still go out into the world and be destroyed by another man, killed by another man, manipulated in the workplace by another man. Okay? Because men are taught flat out, oh, he's just being a man. When y'all do negative stuff, oh, boys will be boys. And all women are taught is the same thing. So men are walking around here lacking self-control and being taught to only control women. So women are walking around here afraid for their life. If you're a husband or a father or a brother or an uncle or a grandfather, you have to worry about the women in your family, because you know that other men are predators. And you know. And now in 2022, Women have finally been like, you know what? Men are predators. You know what? I don't know why I'm sleeping with them. I don't know why I'm giving birth to anything that got to do with them. I'm not dealing with them no more. And you're surprised? Fellas, are you really surprised? Are you? You can't tell me that you're surprised. You can't be. Because men and women have not been taught equally the same values, the same sense of, like, you can go out there and you can find you a good woman easy. Finding a good man is not as easy. It's good men out there, but they're harder to find because society does not produce men who aren't predators. Society, if you allow the whims of society to mold you as a man, you're going to be rotten. You're going to be rotten. If you let spirituality or a belief in a higher power, you possibly going to pull it together. But then you got to worry about religious leaders, because religious leaders be rotten too. And it's all because at the end of the day, religion, politics, just society in general, all of it at the end of the day has something to do with capitalism and control. And who does the world allow to have control? Mostly men. So rotten men are teaching men to be more rotten in order to get power. And what you should be seeking as a man isn't power over women or power over other men. It's self control, controlling yourself, because you could be a monster, right? A woman can be a monster. I know how to be a monster. Oh, that's easy because it's human nature. But one thing that women got that men do not have a lot of is a lot of self control. We have our monster under control. We can release our monster when we feel like it and turn the monster off. Men, on the other hand, y'all let your monster run you. You let a beast, a foaming at the mouth beast, run you. That's why you want to sleep around with everything. A lot of you don't like women who are also like really deep into sexual liberation. You don't like women who are like that. You know why? Because a lot of you don't like when women are easy in that way. They're not valuable enough to you because you feel like you have to conquer a woman. You want to have sex to a woman, not with one. You understand? That's a man's biggest issue, a lack of self control. Some of you lie so much, omit so much, sensationalize so much, exaggerate as if someone has hurt you. Like, most of you could not even deal with half, not even half, a little small ounce of the pain you have caused women. Can't handle it. And not even a little bit. You see women participating in misandry and it hurts y'all. I see y'all in the comment section complaining. Like, a lot of people are complaining about the fact that women don't have compassion or sympathy for the fact that Kevin Samuels died. Why? Why would y'all even ask a black woman, right? To have sympathy? Like, listen, every woman is not graceful. A lot of these women are being a product of their environment, which was toxic and filled with so much misogyny that now they have so much hatred for men. They will clap. Do you understand that? They will celebrate a Black man passing away because of so much negativity that we have experienced as women by the hands of a Black man. And y'all want to turn around and tell this woman who has been traumatized and tormented by Black men in general, and then this man makes millions of dollars from other Black men donating and supporting his content. He gets successful, a level of success and fame that a lot of people wish they could get. He got by dressing up and pretending like his image consulting was him trying to repair a community. And it's so many fatherless people out here, right, in the Black community that needed a father figure who put this man on a pedestal just to basically up their fairy tale, like to level up their fairy tale of having a father. They chose that man to turn into a millionaire, to turn into the spokesperson for Black men, right? And inside of this man's plight of being the Black man's spokesperson, he's stomping on his own race of women, right? This goes into our Black women matching the stereotypes. Are we really the stereotypes y'all hear about all the time? Because my question then becomes, where are y'all seeing these Black women? The big Shirleys and the women who are filled with tattoos, body just one big ass tattoo. The overweight women, the women who have 3, 4, and 5 baby daddies, the promiscuous women, the women who keep running off at the mouth all the time. Where do these women reside? They in the hood, right? They in the hood. They're not in no middle class Black neighborhood. They're definitely not in no high class neighborhood, because the high class neighborhoods aren't even predominantly Black. So you mean to tell me you guys as Black men felt comfortable with a man who's been divorced twice being your Black male spokesperson, right? You felt comfortable with him depicting Black women as these hood chicks you be singing? So now you want the world to believe that all Black women are these chicks in the hood. Have you left the hood before? Do you know any place that isn't the hood? Have you visited one? Because when you step foot out the hood, right, and you go into a Black community, those women are not there. So when you hear women like me say he's lying about these type of women, or this is not how women are, it's because I'm used to being around women who are not in the hood. I grew up in the hood. I know. I had to step out of it to see the rest of the world. If you've seen the rest of the world, you would not feel comfortable with how Kevin Samuels depicted Black women and how we're generalized. Now the stereotypes associated with the women in the hood are now classified as all Black women. And that's not all of us. That's women in the hood. But was he saying that? Was he saying it? No. He wasn't differentiating. He wasn't making it seem like it was a difference, because there were women calling into that show, and it was only a handful of them, because most of the women that called into his show were really kind of hood. Okay? Young and dumb, right? But there was a handful of women who called into his show. And those women, like for instance, the woman, I keep talking about this woman because this woman is a prime example. The first clip that he did that made him popular, not the first clip he did, but the clip that made him popular that was posted on World Star Hip Hop of him telling this beautiful, kind-hearted, like chill ass lady she was gonna die alone. She wasn't disrespecting him. She didn't say anything negative to him. She was kind to him, and he just burst out and told her she was gonna die alone. And she was had her own business. She was like a millionaire. She was financially stable, and she was just basically saying, "I want a guy who's financially stable as well." And he was telling her she was never gonna find it, and that she was gonna die alone. That woman did not deserve that response. But that's the response he gave her, as if she was one of these little hood boogers that called into his show being arrogant and egotistical. Like she was being rude to him. And that is the clip that set him off. That set his popularity off. He didn't have to talk to her that way, but he did. He felt comfortable with selling the stereotypes of Black women from the hood as the absolute definition of what all Black women are. And that was the issue. That was the problem. Now, when we sit here and we're talking about misandry, if you a man and you've heard Black women hate Black men or say all these negative things about Black men, factor in that Black woman's experience and please miss me with the, it's who she chose. Oh, God. Oh, God. Listen, if you look on the internet right now, you go on to YouTube, you go to TikTok, you go on Instagram, how many of all of the podcasts that you see, right? Let's say out of 100 podcasts ran by Black men, out of those 100 podcasts, how many of those podcasts are teaching men finances, business, how to be a good husband, and how to be a good father? Don't worry, I'll wait. Out of 100 podcasts made by Black men, I bet you it's only like 3, 4 out of 100 goddamn podcasts. And out of 100 podcasts, the rest of the podcasts are talking about how much they can't stand women. Instead of teaching each other how to be businessmen, get more money, be better husbands and fathers, it's let me complain about the stereotypes of Black women because we know that's what's going to get the views and the money. Instead of just doing it harder, right? They want to do what's easiest because it's easy to get a microphone, a Wi-Fi connection, and be a pig and say anything hurtful you can think of to people. That's easy. We all know how to do. Listen, I just said this about a monster. We all know how to be a monster. It don't take skill to be a monster. What's harder is having that self-control, controlling that beast, especially for men. Men don't want to go out there and do the hard work of becoming a better man, working on their character, getting their education, getting financial literacy courses, going to counseling, sitting down and actually talking to the Black woman that they hurt or abandoned with a child. That's harder to do. That is hard. What's easy is, oh, I'm going to just get on this microphone and complain about how Black women are this and that and wear too many tattoos and cuss too much and too masculine and all of these complaints, just sitting there complaining on a microphone. That's easy. That's why so many of you do it. But what's harder are the men on my community tab and my YouTube channel. You go to my community tab on my YouTube channel, I post pictures of men who have created businesses and generational wealth for their children. They gave their children something other than complaints. Their husbands, fathers, leaders of their community. Black men, good ones, healthy ones, are the glue that keeps their families together. You wonder why it's a whole bunch of single moms. Look at the leaders of the community. And here's another thing. I have only heard like one black man say, you know what, if we the leaders of the black community and black women are this terrible, why are we blaming them? And he used a football team as the analogy. If your football team loses, you either going to blame the coach, right? You're going to blame the coach or the quarterback because someone is leading them. Someone is making the plans. Someone is making the calls. So out of all of these women out here, who's leading us? And don't say us, because we just started leading us. That's why you're seeing so much misandry. We just started leading us. All of this time, men have had the power. You've had it all of this time. Women are starting to get their education, their businesses, their bread. We just now starting to do this, y'all. There was a time where, of course, we can be doctors and, do whatever we need to do, lawyers, and, have our little jobs, back when I was in like high school, in the 90s, I graduated 1998 from high school. In the 90s, going to college was the shit for everybody. HBCU, everything. Howard University, everything. I can't forget it because I was in Washington, D.C., Maryland and Virginia area. I was in the DMV. I'm from the DMV. Everything was Howard University. Okay. Bowie State University. Everything was go to college, get your education, get your money together, then have family, then do whatever. Including women. The shows that was on the TV was A Different World, Cosby Show, stuff like that. All promoting women getting their education, women getting their money. Because majority of the black community around that time weren't doing it. So Bill Cosby was trying to promote that because it was a lot of black people who were not going to college. Now, it's 2022. Everybody's like, college this, college that. I mean, listen, it's people that's been inside of the entertainment industry that are circling back just to get a degree. Ludacris went to college, but he just graduated to get his doctorate. So, what you must understand about you telling women shit like, black women especially, telling black women shit like your education don't matter. Are you crazy? Let me tell you something about Northern California before I get off here. I live in Northern California. You know what people are proud of out here? Because I'm in tech world. This is not a game. It's not a game. The Bay Area is not a game. This is not for poor people. It's not for lazy people. It's not for anybody who wants some idle time. You ain't got time for that shit here. These people in tech world, they care about education first. So you got Berkeley, you got Stanford. Berkeley, Stanford, San Jose State, California State University. Education. People who fellowship with other people who get their education as well
are the people who come together and start investing in things together. The togetherness associated with going to college, joining a workforce, the fellowship is what you need. The community is what you need. Black people have a difficult time with community. If you go and experience college away from home, away from your parents, and you build all of these friendships with all of these people, these business partners, these people that starting their businesses and doing all of these things that they doing with their life, and y'all start working together to build shit, that's how you get the wealth and stability. But Black men aren't focusing on that. They aren't focusing on investing their money. What do you think a hedge fund is? Does anybody listening to me know what a hedge fund is? A hedge fund is basically a bunch of investors that came together and created a fund for them to invest in other shit together. So they're buying up all of the single family homes. Who do you think owns most of the single family homes in this country? The hedge fund people. And they're not flipping the properties. They're not putting the properties back on the market. They're keeping the properties, renting them out for ridiculous ass prices. Just making money off of stupid people. Because stupid people think home ownership is the be all when it's not. Because technically you don't own your home. The bank does. And let's say you paid off your home ownership loan in 30 years. Yay, you have the house. Technically you don't. You know why? Because you don't own the land or the lot. So it's not really yours ever. You know how I know that? Because I went to go get my education. If you don't have financial literacy, you fucked. You're fucked. And all of these Black men who are on these 100 podcasts giving you no valuable information about being a man or building a family or building wealth or business or something. No valuable information. And that's what y'all listen to and give all of your money to. And then wonder why you can't get the woman that you want, the wealth that you want, because you was too busy making your favorite YouTuber a millionaire before he passed away. Because he was, quote unquote, entertaining, dragging the women who rejected you. Dragging the women that were fat or too dark skinned or single mothers. Why would you make fun of someone who stayed in their child's life? I'm not talking about the women that's going around here with knowing men don't take care of their kids and hoping that he will take care of hers. Oh, he gonna take care of yours while he with you. The second that relationship is over, he gone. Men know this. Men know. Men know that other men do shit like this. Men know how bad men treat women. Men know that women will do all types of things to try to get a man to stay with them, including marry that man, just so they can say they have a husband, so they won't be ridiculed every day by other men. So men know what men be doing. But anytime a woman participates in misandry, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe women are doing this to men. Fuck out of here, y'all. Y'all cannot be serious. Y'all cannot be serious with this. And when I see it, it's just like, Lord, y'all know each other. Men know each other better than women will ever know. Men, y'all know the stuff that y'all do. Y'all know the stuff that y'all sweep under the rug. Y'all know the lies that you told. You know how rotten and abusive a lot of you have been towards your women and your children, especially Black men. But you guys want to pretend for social media. When everybody else is looking, you want to pretend like misogyny from Black women, misandry from Black women has just come out of nowhere and Black women are just rotten individuals. No, you have to know the origin of why you are, how you got there, awareness, self-control, self-awareness, self-control. Two things that Black men lack. Sometimes I'll be out here even struggling to get men inside of my comment section to stop posting remedial stuff. Do you know how difficult it is? Let me even rephrase that. Do you know how embarrassing it is for me to get onto social media, post a video, and in comes a Black man, right? Posting the dumbest, most remedial shit I've ever seen in my comment section. It's so sad, and he thinks it's funny because he's ignorant. And then you go onto YouTube and you see all of these Black men with channels, and all of them are ignorant. And you're like, oh my God, you know how embarrassing that is? And y'all wonder why women out here twerking, you know what I mean? Doing stuff equally embarrassing. Look at our leaders. Look at what our Black leaders are doing. Y'all want to be called kings, but doing a whole bunch of peasant shit on a regular, and then expect for a woman to treat you like royalty anyway. That's not how that works. It's not how it works. And I'm not excusing the woman and the woman's bullshit. I'm not. Just because your ancestors or your grandfather or your father or your brothers treated women bad doesn't mean you deserve to be treated bad if that's not the type of man you are. If you doing, and let me repeat this again, if you doing what you're supposed to do as a man, I ain't talking about you. I'm not talking about the men who go out here and take care of their kids every day. I love y'all. I love my daughter's father. He out here do the damn thing. She 21. He still take care of her like she's 7. Do the damn thing every day. I'm not talking about men like him. I'm not talking about men that know how to keep a damn job. I'm not talking about the men who actually did go out there and get their education. But it's less of y'all than it is the dusties out here. That's the sad part. And another thing that men are not doing, Black men, you guys are not acknowledging how Black women are. Man, if this was a race, listen to me. Black women have ran circles around your ass. And instead of you realizing this and looking around you and paying attention to that, you want to try to convince women that they shouldn't get their education and their money. And of course, it's going to be women out there that have egos out of this world that are going to throw in your face that they are running circles around you. Yeah. But what you expect? See, if y'all was always acting like kings all the time, if every time I turned on a podcast and I seen men sitting down acting like kings, having something positive to say, and some realistic conversations with each other, if I saw that shit on a regular, oh, it would be so easy to respect y'all. But you embarrass yourselves and each other. Any man who is a good man should look on social media and be like, oh my God, please tell me this is not our representation. It is too many like fatherless people out there. I swear to God, when I look at people comment section and they're like, "Oh my God, Kevin Samuels was such a great man," and blah blah blah, and I be thinking to myself, "Oh my God, This person has been abused their entire life. They don't even know what a positive male role model is. If they can sit here and say, this man is the best representation of it, because he isn't. It's men way better than that dude out there. Kevin Samuels was a low tier type of man. There are men who have represented manhood way better than that dude. And when you guys praise him, I feel so bad for you, because it's like you've never experienced, you know nothing about good leadership or good male role models on the regular. Because no good male role model will put you down all the time. All the time, though. Come on now. How many Kevin Samuels clips have we seen of this man disrespecting the absolute fuck out of just anybody? I feel bad for a lot of people. Because see, some people just haven't done their full research about dude. Because you can't tell me that there are people out there who will clap him on after hearing him tell a woman she shouldn't believe her child when her child says that they were sexually assaulted. It's a lot of people that's not going to clap for that. And it's a lot of people that don't know he said that. There's people out there who are homophobes. Oh my God. Right? So they definitely wouldn't have liked him saying that men should consider homosexuality because women are not making the cut. He said that. But a lot of people don't know he said that. A lot of people don't know that. So all of the people that go around and go, I love him so much. I'm like, oh my God, you must not have heard this. I've shared some stuff with about Kevin Samuels to people that people had no idea he said, and I had to prove it to him or them and send them an entire clip. And they sit there like, oh my God, he said that? Yes. Women are not mad because this man told the quote unquote truth. They're mad because of the misogyny, the sexism, the chauvinism, the blatant disrespect that a lot of men keep overlooking because they're butthurt about where they stand in society. And instead of fixing where they are within ranks of other races of men, they blame their own race of women. Instead of acknowledging the fact that we have ran circles around our own race of man, they want to put us down for it. That's ass backwards. So when I hear Kevin Samuels and T.I., who's one crook and another, sitting down talking about misandry, I'm like, these two scum of the earth bastards have the whole full-on audacity when they have disrespected both of them, because T.I. is not innocent. He has cheated on his wife. He's embarrassed his family. Come on, man. There are better men out there than these type of men to follow after. And I can understand, I can respect the man having a past and then improving who he is as a person. But that's not T.I. And that definitely wasn't Kevin Samuels. Definitely not. Okay. Bellavision, you must have watched that damn show with your eyes crossed, girl. Talking about something he told the truth all the time. No, sis. No. He lied to y'all a lot. Let me give you an example. Let me give you a whole example. And I use this example all the time. He was on the Fresh and Fit podcast talking to some bimbo from another country. And I call her a bimbo because I don't know her name personally. He was talking in the Fresh and Fit podcast. All they keep is bimbos. They're Every chick that comes on that show 9 times out of 10 is a porn star, stripper, something like that. A woman who is using a man for money, some gold digger. It's always a toxic ass female up there, a educated one, a one who's a hypergamy hoe. It's always the worst females on the planet they can find out of all the females in the world. Okay, and then they complain about women. It's like, you look what you surround yourself with. Surround yourself of a better breed of woman. So I'm just saying, 9 times out of 10, it's bad women on there. So anyway, Kevin Samuels is on this show, right? Kevin Samuels is on the show, and he's telling this woman, "No, chick, I bet you can name," because she was just like, "I create my own world." Because he was telling her, "No, you live in a world where men created it for you." And she said, "No, I created my own world." And he said, "Name 5 female inventors," because no female inventors have created anything. There's no female great inventors. Basically, is what he was saying to her. And this chick couldn't name 5. You hear me? You want me to go over it again? Because all I was doing was talking about Maria Beasley inventing the life raft, and Margaret E. Knight invented the paper bags, the folded paper bags. Mary Anderson, she invented windshield wipers, and Josephine Cochran, she invented the dishwasher. A woman invented the computer. Her name was Grace Hopper. Elizabeth Maggie invented Monopoly. Rosalind Franklin, she took a picture of the DNA. She was the first person to take a picture of what DNA looked like. Jane Cook Wright, she pioneered chemotherapy. I can go on and on and on and on and on and on. Yet he was telling this woman that there were no women out there who invented anything great. And it's a lot. It's a lot. So he's lied plenty of times. I can give you plenty of lies. I got a whole playlist on my YouTube channel of me talking about the lies have Kevin Samuels sold y'all. He didn't speak the truth. He spoke misogyny, sexism, chauvinism. But you yourself have to be educated to know that. You would have had to go do your own education to know that. But it's so many people that don't have it. Child, don't nobody want to stand up and pee. I'm trying to relax and pee. Who the fuck wants to stand up and pee? You? Knock yourself out, bruh. I'm trying to have a whole seat. I'm trying to do it in one quick swift. I want a 1 and 2 same time and be done with it. You gotta stand up, pee, and sit down. Who wants to do that extra? Listen, one push, boom, it's out. Come on, man. Nobody want to stand up and pee but you. And that's another thing. Y'all think when a woman want to go get some career and some money, it's us wanting to stand up and pee. No, we don't want to be y'all. We good on that. What we want to do is survive doing what we want. You know,
I don't think Kevin Samuels was the best example, but there are a lot of great things that he started in the conversation for a lot of people who normally probably wouldn't have thought about it. Okay, give us an example, Bella.
If you're still here, Bella. Bella could be gone by now. Give us an example. I want a Kevin Samuels example of him doing something that started, like, just give me anything, peace. And I could tell you how detrimental that shit was. People used to always ask me to go into his show all of the time, and I was just never interested. Not interested. Not interested. Not interested. Because I feel like a lot of women, right? A lot of women who called into his show were looking for something they were never going to get out of him. And I think a lot of them were calling him to test his patience, because y'all do that shit to me. So I know y'all was doing that shit to him. Like, people do that shit to me. That's why I stopped doing live streams, because people was doing it to me. It was annoying me. And I was like, why does everybody feel like this is the time or opportunity for them to try me? Because I don't go around trying people. Like, I'm not going to go to somebody's channel and just try them for shits and giggles. I'm just not going to do that. So I'm aware that a lot of women were calling into Kevin Samuel's show and being there. So I'm not, again, I'm not excusing women that are part of the problem. Like, it's bitches that are part of the problem. Straight up. But you can't generalize a whole race of women because of what two or three women did. Or shit, you can't, like, say for instance, let's say you got 5,000 women standing in front of you, all of them black. You can't say all 5,000 of those women are overweight, or all 5,000 of those women are dark skinned, or all 5,000 of those women are unattractive, or a four at best. You can't say that, because black women are so beautiful. And it really bothered me about the whole spectrum thing. He was talking about how beauty was universal, and how he was saying that black women are on the opposite side of the beauty spectrum, where our facial structures were ugly and masculine. This is what this man was saying. Have you seen a black woman? Like, seriously, do y'all look at how beautiful black women are? These women who are not black, when they start looking beautiful to you, have you noticed it's because they have a feature from a black woman? She either has a black woman's ass, a black woman's thighs, a black woman's walk, a black woman's lips, a black woman's oval face. The only thing that other races of women have that black women don't have, that a lot of y'all wish black women had, is the hair texture. See, naturally, black women, we might have, like, I have a beautiful head of hair, right? My hair, like, I think people think, I don't know, I think that because they've seen me wear wigs before. I wore wigs, braids, I've worn my hair short, I wore my hair long. I have a beautiful head of hair. And I got this beautiful head of hair by wearing a wig, right? Because I was like anti-wig for a long time, right? And from flat ironing my hair, I had like this wear and tear. I was like breaking my hair off because I wanted to be like manageable. So I would flat iron it because I needed it to, like, just go in a ponytail. Because when you got curly hair, it's big all the time. And I was getting tired of that shit. I was like, this shit is too big. I just can't. So I would just flat iron it. And it was just breaking my hair off. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna just braid it and keep it in just braids, and just wear a wig on top. The second I did that, oh, my hair is so thick. It's the healthiest it's ever been in my entire life. It's long, it's beautiful, it's thick. It's the most beautiful it's ever been. But men think it only the only time a woman has beautiful hair is if it's straight. What about curly hair? Since when has curly hair been ugly? It hasn't been. It's just men, black men, the only thing that other races of women have that black women don't naturally have is straight hair. All of the other races of women who may be beautiful to a black man, they have some type of feature a black woman has. And men don't even, black men don't even understand it. I remember I made a video many years ago and I was talking about how black women are high maintenance. We are the most high maintenance women. And let me explain why. And I tried to get men to understand this then, but we're going to try it again because y'all have a hard time being wrong. So, black women, you know how, let's say you got a Toyota Camry, right? I'm going to use cars because guys like cars. My son likes cars. Let's say you got a Toyota Camry. You take your Toyota Camry to get service. Your oil change is like $60. All right. Let's say 2 years later, you get you a BMW. You drive your BMW to the same place you got your Camry serviced. You think that oil change is gonna be $60? Not on no BMW, it ain't. The reason why I say that black women are a BMW and non-black women are a Camry is because it takes more energy, more money, more time to keep up the appearance, spirit, and mind of a black woman. Way more energy than it would another race of woman. And the reasoning behind that isn't simply because we were born that way. It's also because of what we have experienced as black women. We have to work on our mental health more because of how society treats us. We have to work on our spirituality more because we have to practice more self-love. When we don't practice self-love, we become very toxic and difficult to deal with. So we have to put extra energy into that. Black women, we purchase more beauty products, more things to maintain our bodies than any other race of woman. We are the luxury cars of the world. Do you know how much it costs? Right? And people don't want to hear this. They don't like hearing this because they don't want black women to know this. But I know this about myself and I know this about other black women. Do you know how much it costs to service a Tesla? You know I drive a Tesla, right? Teslas don't usually need maintenance, right? But when a Tesla needs a maintenance, oh my God, Lord, have mercy. That shit is one of the most expensive things. Just something as simple as sometimes, right? I'll park my Tesla at like Target or something, right? And I might not be charging it. Okay, I might just be parking it. I come out and I don't know why it does this. Yeah, I might need to just go take it to get service. But sometimes I'll come out and the window will be rolled down. It won't be rolled down all the way. It'll just roll itself down. Sometimes it just does what it wants to do. It does updates on its own. Sometimes it just does stuff. Like, you know how your phone does little shit sometimes? Your A Tesla does that. There's times where I know I've heard of people using their autopilot, and something's went wrong with that. So they have to go take that to get serviced. Do you know how expensive that shit is? Even though a Tesla is a luxury vehicle and it doesn't need a lot of maintenance, when it does need to be serviced, it's expensive. Okay. So my thing is, when you see other races of women, right, and you feel like they are high maintenance women, why do you feel that way? Why? That's all I want to know, really. That's it. I gotta go. I've been talking for an hour. I'm done. That's all I wanted to say. I hope you understand a little bit better about how I feel about misandry versus misogyny. Anyway, be good, y'all. Love each other.